Alright, gonna make a real quick video on what I was over at Dave's house yesterday getting. So, I don't know if you can tell. The back end's low. The front end's high. So, if you look at the 51's factory control arms, it's all one solid piece, right? So, you have two options. You can cut this and raise it up so it comes out right here, which will give you about 2 inches of drop. Then you got to brace all that, and I hope to God everything's right once you're done. Or you can change the uprights with Fat Man uprights that are $500 once you get the steering arms, or you can get 53 or 54 uprights. And for those of y'all that don't know, this is the upright right here. This part that goes there and right there, and that's your spindle on top of it. So anyway, the Fat Man uprights drop the 51s 2.5 inches. The 53 and 54 spindles, factory spindles, drop the 51s, I think 1.5 inches or something like that. So, my buddy Dave got a new front end for the 54 that he bought from me. So, I picked up the control arms, the uprights, and the steering arms. Now, before I sold it, the 54s plates, and I don't know if 53s are like this or if even all 54s are like this. These plates right here, this is the bottom of it, so it's upside down. They were riveted on to this part. So I ground down and drilled out the rivets, and I made aluminum spacers. So essentially it's like cutting a coil, except you don't affect ride quality at all. And shock travel doesn't change. It's like using blocks on a factory rear end. Nothing changes except the wheel height. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I was down there yesterday picking up. Got the control arms. I have to see if these shafts are any good. And my intention was to use the whole thing as is, and use the upright and everything. See, this is more centered. I don't know if you can tell. This is the 54 upright, which is, this is the top right here. So, and there's the spindle over there and all that. Still in great shape. So, this right here is more centered. Go back over to the 51. You can see that it's way more towards the bottom. So that's how it lowers the car. Now, I don't know if the control arms and the spindles would be, or and the uprights would be too much. That's what I'd like to do ultimately, since I have the steering arms and all that. I mean, ideally, I'd like this to be right about there, but I don't know if it'll lower it 3 inches. What is that, 2.5, 3 inches? I mean, it should, but I don't want it to be lower in the front end than the back end either. So I have to measure all that. So this is kind of like a part one. Here's the steering arms. Kind of like a part one for my next thing that I'm doing to the car. Lowering the front end. Now these are 1-inch spacers that I made. I drilled them out of aluminum, solid aluminum rod. And it was a huge pain to do it. Grade 8 bolts. So when he said he didn't want them, he pulled them off and asked if I wanted them back. I jumped on it because it took like forever to get everything centered and perfect and all that. And they work great. So I'm thinking I'm going to pull this uprights off and put the control arms on first, because that's the easiest part. If it's not low enough, then I'll put the uprights on. Because the upper bolts right here are how you adjust the camber for the wheels. And I don't want to throw my alignment out of whack. Although what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure it off the drum with a magnetic angle finder and Just put it back to the same exact setting, if necessary. And hopefully that works. Here's some rivets right here. That's how it was. Those bad boys are solid. That's how it was when I did the Walton's crossmember for the T5 too. Those rivets are insane. You guys know what I'm talking about that have these. But yeah, so stay tuned because these are going to be going on. And then she's going to be sitting a little bit lower. See if I can see how high it sits right there. I don't know how high it actually is, but the back end sits a lot lower. Pretty much the bottom. It's almost level with the bottom of the rim. It's close. And then next year I'm going to notch it and do all kinds of stuff to it. No airbags though. I'm sticking with leaf springs. So alright, stay tuned everybody.